Hi everybody, welcome to another episode of Running 2. This is the third episode. I have quite a few things to talk about, but again, I want to keep all episodes under 10 minutes. So let's get started. So here we are I'm now on week number 3. And here is the chart so far. Going up to eventually 56 miles in about week 19, 21 week process. I did 20 miles last week. I'm going to do 22 miles this week because I like to increase about 10% each week. And I think 8 miles is probably my longest run that I did last week. And I'll probably bring that up to about like a 10-mile run this week, I'm thinking. We'll see how it goes. My mileage, I'm running about a little bit over 11-minute miles, which is okay. I mean, I don't think I could have purposefully ran so slow in the past, but that's the way it goes. How am I holding up so far physically? Pretty good. I've lost a couple of pounds since I started. I have a little bit of knee pain in my right knee. Nothing debilitating, but I'll keep an eye on that. The good thing about getting started on something this so early, planning on things and starting this process so early, is that I can, if I need to, I can take a little time off and maybe go get some physical therapy if necessary for my knee. But right now it just kind of feels like it's catching a little bit. One thing I really have to keep up on is my plantar. I always have a hard time pronouncing this right. Fasciitis. Anyways, my PF. So I get the PF kind of bad in my feet sometimes. I don't want to turn into like the product endorsement video, but one thing that I've tried everything for my plantar. I've done the socks, I've done the splints. I actually have like a boot, like it looks like I broke my leg, that I would wear to help the tendons stretch out. And I read some research that said that really plantar fasciitis is not the correct name if I was pronouncing it right anyways. The right idea about what's happening to your plantar. It's not actually a swelling of the plantar. They've done a lot of cadavers that reported having plantar, and they looked at their foot and it was not swelling at all. So what they think, there was one podiatrist who thought that it was actually because our toe boxes are so small for our feet that it's actually compressing the toes. So I've got these toe spreaders, which I should have with me so I can show you maybe next episode. But they basically go in between your toes and they're kind of rubbery and they push your toes apart, which is really cool. I think those have I think they've cured my plantar. I don't have many problems with it anymore. One thing that does help a lot too is to lose a little bit of weight, and that helps your knees. The best thing you can ever do for your knees is to lose some weight. So I'm looking forward to doing that. One big thing that's happening, you can kind of see a little corner of it, is we got some snow this week. Actually, we got like up here, they say 7, but I measured 6 inches of snow the other day that fell up here on the South Hill of Spokane. And it really changes the running conditions. But that's how my running conditions are going to be for the most part as I prep for this run in April. So you just have to get used to it. There are some products, and I'm not going to do more products here, that really help me and my wife Sarah run in the snow. And I'll kind of maybe if we have snow, next time it's snowing, I'll talk about those a little bit. So somebody asked me once before, not recently, but they asked, how do you break up your mileage when you're running? And one thing for me is I like to do longer miles. Let's say if I had 10 miles left in the week to accomplish, I would just as soon go out and do a 10-mile run and take the next day off, as opposed to doing 2 5-mile runs, if I'm in the kind of shape to do that. And I think that does a couple of things for you. It gives you a rest day, which is great. It also, it doesn't take up as much time for me to get out the door once as opposed to twice. Doing one 10-miler takes up less time than doing two 5-milers as far as the prep, and I drag my feet all the time to get out the door. So for me, that's a big, that's probably what I would do, is a one 10-miler versus two 5-milers. But that's just for me. You know, everybody has to figure out their own stuff. One thing I wanted to talk about a little bit is how one of my things, I'm really enjoying the way my new body looks and feels, and I was a little bit worried and thinking about it running that I would lose a lot of that. And I might still, but I guess I can put it back on. But I just don't, I was going to show you, I thought it would be kind of interesting, and I'm going to write about this a little bit longer. Some pictures of how I used to look, basically not in shape and in shape. So there I am right there. That's me just hanging out, really airy. Not really in good shape there. Probably my most average shape that I'd be in. I could still go out and run pretty good on that. Here is a picture of me as I was prepping. As I was prepping for, or actually I was accomplishing this 175 mile swim, not at one time, but over the spring I did that down at the Spokane Club. That's lots of laps, and I almost went crazy doing it. And maybe I did go crazy. Maybe that explains a lot. But regardless, I'm here to tell you I have a great story about that, but I should probably just reserve that for one episode because it's a long story about my work that I did to basically win this contest, if there was such a thing as winning. So I was a little bit worried, but I'm going to put a link to somebody that I found online. You don't hear a lot about trans athletes, especially professional trans athletes. And this is a link to a cyclist named Jillian Bearden. I hope I'm pronouncing you right, Jillian. And she's a trans female cyclist who was a professional cyclist as a male and is now trying to come back as a female professional cyclist. And she does a really good job of talking a lot. I don't know if it's in the video I'm going to link up or in another article about her, about the real effects of not having any testosterone in your system to speak of, and the estrogen. So for me, that's going to be, that'll be probably a good testament as to what, about how that goes. I have another person that can kind of tell you in a better fashion how that's working out for her. So I'll have a link to that. And one of the things, my wife, who I think is back there, I think we saw her. Sorry, honey. Sorry I got you in the video. There she goes. She's going to go to work. So she's getting probably a cup of coffee. Anyways, so one of the things that you can tell, and I was always big about planning, and I still am big about planning, especially at my job as a fire captain. I have to plan a lot of things for the station, and like any fire officer or good firefighter, you plan a lot on what you're going to do for work. But I kind of extended that planning into my everyday life. And that was something that I think was really hard, because my wife, I would basically have a plan A, B, and C, and if that didn't work, follow-up plans for that, trigger points for those plans. I never really did anything spur of the moment, and of course that, as a, coming out 50-something years later to tell people that I'm transgender, sort of tells you my fear of doing things without a really extensive plan. Well, I think I'm not like that very much anymore in my personal life. I tried out for the Vagina Monologues. That's probably my big news a week ago. I tried out for the Vagina Monologues, and I got accepted for a couple parts in it. So I'm really excited about that, but I just kind of went down there and did it. And in the past I would have said, well, I have to figure out how to get trades for work. This is going to be a commitment of my time. There's other things I want to do. I have too much on my plate. how am I going to handle this? But you know, I just decided that's something I wanted to do. I went down there. I wasn't attached to failing or succeeding in it. And I just went and I did it. And that's really cool. I'm really looking forward to doing my parts for that. And but like I said in the past, that was something that really never, you know, I probably would have never done that. That was something Sarah kind of pointed out about this for me now, how I kind of changed. Okay, so in the past, I would always have, I would write something that would have to do with what we talked about, more of a long-term thing, and then I would attach it to the overall posting. But I think people are probably seeing that and thinking that this is what the video is about, and it's not. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just kind of post this video, and then later on in the week, I will post kind of a breakout thought. I'm going to call it Running True Confessionals. That's what I'm going to call it, because I used to be an ad wizard, so that's the name I came up with. And there'll be more of a that'll be kind of a personal and up close thoughts about some things, and that'll just be written form. That won't be a video. So anyways, I went over about a minute and a half, and I apologize. And I hope you have a great week. Get out there and get running, and that's what I'm going to write about in my confessionals. Okay, thanks everybody. Thanks for spending some time watching this, and I hope you have a great week. Thank you. Bye-bye.